In the absolute isolation of the cosmic dark, the last remnants of a dying species are drifting through the void. These massive, continent-sized vessels were originally built for commerce, long-haul trading ships that spent centuries away from the Aeldari homeworlds. Today, they are the last lifeboats for the survivors of a cataclysm that completely destroyed their empire. Inside, they operate as a closed loop. Pristine forests and autumnal biomes provide a self-contained, artificial ecosystem, giving the inhabitants a breathable atmosphere and a faint echo of the planets they left behind. But these majestic arcs offer no hope of a return voyage. They are permanent, mobile prisons for a people who have no home left to go back to. To understand how the Aeldari survive out here, you have to understand their minds. Their neurological makeup processes experiences on a terrifyingly grand scale. Every emotion, thrill, and sorrow strikes them with a volatility that would easily break a human psyche. That overwhelming intensity is exactly what led their ancestors to ruin. To keep their minds anchored, they follow a rigid behavioral system known as the path, channeling all mental energy into a single discipline. In war, they adopt the hyper-focused persona of an aspect warrior, turning their capacity for violence into ritualized martial arts. Outsiders frequently mistake this extreme discipline for arrogance. In reality, it is absolute terror. The Aeldari know that a single lapse in control could repeat the hedonistic madness that doomed their race. Because their generations are few and far between, every casualty on the battlefield is a devastating blow. They simply do not have the population to absorb losses in physical combat. A physical death triggers a spiritual crisis. Without the protection of the homeworlds, a departing Aeldari soul is immediately pulled into the warp, targeted for consumption by the dark entity Slaanesh. To prevent this, every Craftworlder wears a psycho-receptive gem on their chest called a spirit stone. At the exact moment of physical death, this gem acts as a psychic trap, catching the soul before the shadow can claim it. But if shattered in combat, the soul inside is immediately swallowed, condemned to eternal torment. Every battlefield casualty carries the risk of a soul's eternal damnation. For the Aeldari, a broken stone means a soldier is not merely dead, but permanently lost to a predator that never stops waiting. When a battle ends, surviving warriors meticulously gather the spirit stones of the fallen. They carry these precious gems back to the Craftworld, where they are physically plugged into the ship's core. Here, the souls enter the Infinity Circuit, a massive skeletal matrix of psychoactive wraithbone. The individual dead merge into a colossal gestalt consciousness spanning the vessel. This reservoir of ancestral spirits provides the literal power grid for the Craftworld. The psychic energy of the dead keeps the artificial gravity running, the life support functioning, and the ship moving. The Matrix also serves as the Craftworld's primary advisor. Specially trained seers commune with the circuit to extract strategic guidance and ancestral wisdom from the ghosts of the fallen. The survivors are drifting through the void inside a beautiful flying graveyard. Every breath they take and every light that shines in their halls is sustained entirely by the trapped souls of everyone they have ever loved. The grim reality of their declining numbers means the living Aeldari cannot repel every threat on their own. Eventually, the defense of the Craftworld requires more bodies than the living can provide. In times of extreme desperation, seers perform an act considered deeply taboo. They pull dead souls back out of the Infinity Circuit and implant them into towering, robotic constructs made of wraithbone. These ghost warriors do not experience reality clearly. They perceive the battlefield as a confusing, agonizing dream, forced out of their peaceful rest to endure the trauma of war all over again. When even the dead are not enough, the Craftworld turns to its ultimate escalation. They perform a ritualistic blood sacrifice of a living champion to awaken the dormant god resting at the heart of their ship. The Avatar of Khaine is a towering monstrosity of molten iron and fire. As it marches to war, its sheer presence infects the strictly disciplined Aeldari with a terrifying ancient battle lust, stripping away their careful psychological restraints. They abhor necromancy and fear their own capacity for violence. Yet they weaponize their resting ancestors and unleash their bloodthirsty gods, because their mere survival demands the sacrifice of their deepest moral convictions. The Aeldari are fighting a galactic war of attrition they cannot win. Every casualty chips away at a finite, completely irreplaceable reservoir of souls. They possess technology thousands of years ahead of humanity and fight with perfect, lethal discipline. But mathematically, against the overwhelming threats of the universe, they simply do not have the numbers to endure. The Craftworld Aeldari are a dying spark of majestic starlight. They fight desperately, knowing they are only delaying the inevitable arrival of the dark.